I just fasted for 7 days. Now let's take a look at the results. I lost over 17 pounds in 7 days.
I also saved $175 on food.
The CDC recommends to lose the weight slowly, 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's the healthy way to do it. And here's my opinion. Says who? Definitely not human physiology. Definitely not evolutionary biology. 99.9% of human history has consisted of feasting and fasting cycles. It's how we evolved to handle our environment. We harvested in the fall and stuffed ourselves to store up as much fat as we could for the winter. It's not a coincidence that Thanksgiving is in the fall. And we did this because we knew winter was coming. All of the crops would be dead. Nothing could grow. All of the animals would be hibernating, and we would be forced to fast. It also could happen in the summer if there's a drought. Human beings are used to fasting. That's why our bodies want to build fat so badly. That's why it's so easy to get fat if you really want to. So we build up fat in anticipation of the winter, but guess what? The winter never comes. At least in the last 100 years it hasn't. Processed foods are accessible 24/7, 365. You never have to go even a few minutes without eating food if you want to. That was never available to us, and our bodies did not develop and evolve in an environment where we could eat carbohydrates all day, every day. So our bodies have not adapted to react to this properly, and our hormones are thrown all out of whack once it gets these unnatural combinations, unnatural quantities of carbs, and processed foods that have had the fiber and the fat stripped out of them to where it's no longer food, it's really a product that's manipulating your hormones, messing up your endocrine system, and literally changing your physiology and brain chemistry. It's important to note that fasting is not starving yourself. I eat more calories than you do, even though I fast and you may not. The idea of fasting is not to eat less, just eat less often. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, where you're doing 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of eating, or 16/8 or 24, just because you cut your eating window in a day from 12 hours to 6 hours doesn't mean you eat half the calories. Remember, calories in versus calories out is a myth. That is not a good long-term strategy for weight loss, not only because it doesn't work, but it actually slows your metabolism and causes a lot of problems with your endocrine system. Look around in nature and find an animal that restricts its own calories. You can't find one, and none of them are fat. A lion will eat 80 pounds in one sitting and then go 2 weeks without eating. And it's a muscular, lean, mean machine. The only place you'll find a fat tiger is in a zoo where it gets fed every day. The only time you'll find an obese dog with diabetes is in a home where it gets fed processed carbohydrates every single day. I'm happy with how my blood sugar stayed level throughout it. There were a few odd times where it spiked, but I had pretty reasonable explanations as to what happened. You wouldn't imagine how delicious food tastes now. Every single bite is overwhelmingly flavorful. Even the smell is just intoxicating. My knees feel a lot better. They usually have a little bit of soreness to them, but right now I'm not only lighter, but a lot of my inflammation has been cleared out. I feel like there's a little bit more joy in my life now than there was a week ago. Now I look forward to getting back in the gym where I can use this 1,000% increase in HGH that I got from my fast to my advantage to build more lean muscle. I'll eat cleanly for a little bit, eat a little poorly for a little bit, gain some more weight, gain some muscle, and then I'll do it again. Fasting, then feasting. Now you definitely can overdo it. Fasting is a hormetic stress. It's a stress where a little bit of bad does a lot of good, kind of like your immune system or weight training, which are good at short periods of time because they make you stronger in the long run. Doing them all day, every day, or overdoing it can be a bad thing. Fasting does increase cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, which is healthy in small doses. But if you were to chronically do this, let's say every other week, you're fasting for 7 days, that could get a little too much. And you could burn out your adrenals possibly, but I don't think any of us desire to put ourselves through that many fasts that often. So I try to do at least a 3-day fast once a month, and then a 5 to 7 day fast like once a year. And then I'll sprinkle in 24-hour fasts every once in a while, just when I'm feeling motivated or when I'm kind of getting a little unsatisfied when I'm eating my desserts or feeling too tired. I'll just do 24 hours to reboot, get a little more energized, appreciate food a little bit more, and that'll really help me even in the gym, despite what most people think that food equals energy. It doesn't always work that way. It also doesn't work that way with weight loss. As we know, calories in versus calories out doesn't work. It's all about hormones. Please talk to your doctor before you fast. There are many reasons why some people shouldn't fast. Children shouldn't fast, a pregnant woman, maybe even breastfeeding. If you're taking diabetes medication, you should not be fasting. If you have rare liver diseases or an insulin-producing tumor, some of these situations can be very rare, but you never know. So talk to your doctor and make sure that they don't suspect there are any issues or any reasons that you shouldn't be fasting. And if you do decide to fast, make sure you start slow. Everyone can do 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating every single day. That's intermittent fasting. But if you're going to go further, just make sure you only do it in increments. And if you feel bad, just eat. It's okay. The great thing about fasting is if you fail and break your fast, you can always start a new one at any time.